Hi, Cole. Thanks for sending that video over. It was super helpful to see what you're working on, and I'm really excited about getting you back in the studio on Thursday, so really looking forward to that. Three things I want to talk about. I'll go down the list, and if you have questions at the end, have your mom shoot me over a message, and I will do my best to answer. So number one is jumping jack flash. Looks like you're doing all the exercises that I asked you to do, looking good. Looks like you're getting that transition between the E chord and the B chord. We'll talk about that in a second. Something about that real quick. But it looks like you're doing the exercises. That on and off is looking good right there. Getting that shape under your fingers so you just naturally go to it. That'll save us some time when we get to our next power chord song. The first thing I want to talk about with that though is your pick grip. I saw you playing jumping jack flash. It looked like, from my perspective, that you're gripping the pick with your middle finger and your index finger and your thumb. We just want to grab onto the pick with our thumb and index finger. So make sure not to come up and give it support with the middle finger right here. That'll be important later on when you start the tapping stuff like here, like all this stuff here. You don't want to get used to doing this and having to change your pick grip later on to accommodate more advanced techniques. Other thing I wanted to cover there too is the power chord. Good job on the power chord, and the riff is coming along nicely. Like I said, we'll clean that up when you get in town, work on the rhythm a little bit. But it's a silly mistake. You were playing it at the 5th fret, so your power chord shape was right. We just want to make sure that we move that power chord shape to the 7th fret, right here. So you were playing it down here at the 5th fret, but you want to play that power chord at the 7th fret on B on the 6th string. Remember, it's a B5 power chord. It doesn't sound like terrible or anything like that. It's just that Keith Richards plays it at the 7th fret. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, right here at the 7th fret. Still do the same riff. The riff was right. We just want to move it up 2 frets. So it sounds like this. At the 7th fret, not at the 5th fret. Fix that for me. And then number 2 is A minor pentatonic. Make sure, what I want you to add on to it this time, your 3-note sequences are looking good once you kind of get going. Make sure you're very careful in playing all the correct frets. Sometimes we make silly mistakes and we accidentally grab that 7th fret on the 6th string rather than the 8th fret, so just be careful about that. And so it's 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8. Oh, flying the jets today. Perfect timing. Anyways, they're passing it now. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So just be very careful that when you play that A minor pentatonic that you don't make silly mistakes and go to that 7th fret by accident, and you should be going to the 8th fret. So 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. And then be careful here too, 5, 8, 5, 8. You don't get Dorian pentatonic yet, you gotta finish up your modes first. So be careful not to get that 7th fret there, but make sure you get the 8th fret right there. All right? So be careful on making sure you don't make silly mistakes when you're playing through the sequences. Other thing I want you to do, new thing I want you to add on to it is double the first note of each sequence. It sounds like this. I'm gonna play the first note twice, and then my 3-note sequence. Double the next note. So every time I play a new sequence, I'm playing the first note twice. That's all you're doing. That's gonna be the first thing that we're gonna do to kind of get away from it sounding just like a musical exercise. What we'll do when you get back in town is we'll play around with the rhythm a little bit, and we'll add rests or pauses in between each of the sequences to work on our musical phrasing. But the first thing you can do for right now, in preparation of that, is play that first note twice. Right. What we'll end up doing is and that'll help us phrase it a little bit nicer and get away from it sounding just like purely like an exercise. So double the first note of each sequence. And then number three, the third thing I want you to work on is power chord naming quiz. Just to reiterate, like we were talking about earlier with Jumping Jack Flash, making sure we play the right chord. Even though the riffs sound nice where you're playing it, we just want to move it up 2 frets. We want to make sure we know all the note names on the 6th string, so we know the power chord names, the names of the chords, that is. So we're going to quiz you next week on the root 6. And so going through that real quick, remember our musical alphabet, there is no E sharp and there is no B sharp. Repeat after me, there's no E sharp and there's no B sharp. And we're going to start the musical alphabet on the letter E. So, or if we start with the musical alphabet, it would be A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, right? We're going to start that musical alphabet on the letter E. It's all going to be the same letters. We're just starting in a different spot rather than A. So you have the 6th string E, and then you take your pointer finger. Oh, there they come back again. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and E. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call out a letter name. I'm going to say G, right? And you'll take that power chord shape. And they're going to take that, say, I'll call it a letter name, say G for example, and you have to move that power chord shape to where the pointer finger is at that G, and then play the shape for me. Or I might call out A sharp 5, right? Remember, all power chords give me the ending 5. Go to A sharp 5 and play that, right? I might call out D5, go up to D, and play the power chord there. I'll make sure that's all rock solid, and then what we'll do on Thursday is we'll go through and start learning the power chords on root 5. A little bit trickier because you have to do like a little funny thing with your pointer finger to stop the 6th string from ringing. But we'll talk about that when you get in person on Thursday. That's something I didn't want to do over Zoom because I want to make sure that that the hand position's all correct in real time. So cool. So go through and practice those root 6 power chords. Maybe you can have your dad call out different letters and see if you can find them, and then put that power chord shape in position. Yeah, that way you'll be all set for that. Cool. If you have any questions about this or want me to look at anything, don't hesitate to have your mom shoot me over a message or a video or anything like that. And looking forward to having you on Thursday, man. Take care.